up there. Get your mentor to get ahead and grow your career the right way. Because frankly, who has right? I know that the time that I've invested so far felt like spinning my wheels quite a bit. So I don't want that for you. I want you guys to feel liberated and free as you move forward, secure, understand, getting the right and best advice possible. This is the conversation we're having today, and it's what I am so excited to be sharing with you. Let's see. All right. Let's start from the very beginning. Who am I? Hello. My name is Tara Keach. I am a corporate since 2011. I've been working in corporate consulting roles. My foray into corporate consulting began through project management, an essential skill for so many of our different American cultural corporate work roles. So project management path to my corporate future. I found that path while I was getting my master's in clinical psychology, which may be the good path for some of you to conceptualize, but I promise you I use psychology every single day that I'm in my corporate role. Different ways it is applying, and it's part of my passion is to get to share with you guys the ways that psychology can help your life. Mine continues to help mine. So that's what I do with my clients, help them optimize themselves, their presentations, their relationships, their projects by applying the art and science to what they do in their day jobs. So I live in Mobile, Alabama, but I come by the way of Los Angeles, California, and Denver, Colorado. So well-traveled. I have 2 fur baby, and my true love is my husband. I'm so grateful for them, and they are the why to what I do. Again, I am the host and founder of the stands for the Collective of Real Executive Women. And it is just an amazing forum of professional women who are looking to make a difference, to be heard, to be understood, to be appreciated, to get paid. Let's just not spend any more time being unseen and underpaid. Like, enough already. So that's the crew. That's what we're here to do. And today we're here to talk about mentor. I'd like to ask if you guys can, if you're watching the replay, go ahead and shut all your tabs down. Focus on what we're going to be talking about here today. This is important information that can change your career. So just give your future self this moment to focus, to dial in, and to really participate with it. So I appreciate it. Your future self, thank you. Okay, for those in live and in the chat, please tell me, have you ever wanted a mentor? I'm assuming you have because you're here and you're talking about it with me. But just give me a big 1 or a big yes if you are one of the people who has acknowledged that you do want a mentor. I just want to hear from you. All right, great. Next question for you. Give me a yes, emoticon, thumbs up if you want to grow your career. And this is a real question. This isn't like a trick question. I have those friends who are completely happy where they are. And what a beautiful thing, what a beautiful place to be, but I don't identify with that at all. I always feel like I'm sort of looking at the next level, targeting, and I'm grateful for where I am, definitely working on being present in the future, but I always have some growth goals and something that I'm working towards. So if you identify with that, if you also let me know, give me a quick shout out, give me a quick thumbs up. Okay. All right, next question. If you don't have a mentor, why not? If you guys can tell me, is it because you haven't found the right person, because you don't know how to ask the person that you think you want to be your mentor? What are you dealing with? What's your primary obstacle that's preventing your? Okay. All right, so I want to know, does this sound like you? Do you know that you have a purpose? Okay. Do you know that you have potential that has yet to be tapped into, using the fullness of your potential in your day job yet? And do you want more than the daily corporate grind? This is me. This has been I am speaking my truth. This is my past. Do you want to be able to grow your career without selling your soul or burning out? For me, when I was first starting into the corporate world, I saw so many women specifically, and several men who were just flat burnout. They were spent, they were uninspired all the time. They felt disconnected from what they were doing with their day jobs, from what they really wanted to do in their sort of selves. They felt a gigantic disconnect, and you could see the evidence of burnout. You can see it with the way that they were acting and behaving, their health overall. I can't tell you how many women I knew just a couple of years ago that had heart issues and heart attacks, and just felt really uninspired. So is this you? Have you tried to get ahead but not really seen any results from that? Has nothing worked that you've tried so far? I'd love to know what it is that you've tried. Okay. Do you wish you could just figure out what to do next? Like if you could just get some automatic amazing email that said, hey, you, this is exactly what to do next. I know that would have been a wish come true for me, not that very long ago. All right. So all that aside, have you done the sort of internal checks about whether or not you're identifying with that? Let's talk about what you're going to learn today. So we're going to cover step 1, how to find the right mentor, the right person. And we'll talk about why the right mentor makes the difference and how to tap into where that person is and who that is in your life, specific to your missions, your dreams. Then we're going to talk about creating a real connection. So I use the word authentic. I know it's a super big buzzword, but it's true. I don't want you to pretend to be somebody else when you're making the tours. You be you and come from that point of truth, that place of sincerity and honesty, where you're able to build a real authentic relationship. And then he does feed into step 3, which is building a real relationship. So not just a fly-by-night random coffee or a random set of emails, but like, let's talk about how to be real with each other, your mentor, to build a really fruitful foundation. A foundation where you can be really fruitful and have a strong, positive that conversation, that ongoing relationship. Okay, so before we dig in, I want to share a little bit about my story, because a lot of you may or may not know me. To get here, how do I know what I'm talking about? And I'll tell you, it was the hard way. So this was some really grassroots development. Sorry, I'm going the wrong direction. Okay, so 11 years ago, I was at the University of Colorado, Denver, working out at the Anschutz campus. If you guys are from the Denver Aurora, it's a beautiful former Fitzsimmons campus. I was doing research, academic medical research, plugged into an amazing group of physicians. One I'll consider my mentor. She is an inspiration to me, and I think about what she would do on at least a weekly basis, if not more frequently. I was also personally driven to work with Alzheimer's caregivers. I had the privilege of growing up in a home where my parents took care of their mothers, and I got to see the progression through the end of life. Felt really connected to do, but very quickly burnt out. I realized that was not my calling. That was not resonating with me as what I wanted. So I reached that point of clarity, and I wasn't really sure what to do. So as I was doing that, I don't know if you can relate, but really wanting to do work with a heart that was inspired, that made a difference in people's lives. But I also wanted to buy the good cheese. It's not something you can necessarily do on a research assistant salary. So I wasn't sure how to make that happen. I wasn't sure how to marry passion and my purpose, my intention, my education, all of those experiences that I love and that I still treasure, with how to live the lifestyle that I wanted and doing the same. So tell me in the chat, I would love to know from you guys, what is your fancy cheese? So for me, I wanted to buy fancy cheese I wanted a career that would enable me to do that. What would you guys be taking vacations? Would you guys be taking trips locally or internationally? What would you be buying? What would you be investing in? What would your life look like if you had the career to enable you to do that? All right. Fancy cheese. Tell me about your fancy cheese. All right. So I finally started to figure out that it's not one or the other. And for me, marrying my passion and my purpose with a career that could help me buy the fancy cheese and support me is here to talk about today. And I got to tell you, being mentored for me was absolutely the success factor. Being mentored is the success factor. It's so easy to hear this. You could, I don't know what magazine you're reading right now, what might be on the desk next to you, or if you're walking through an airport, you pick up anything to do with business or women, and I guarantee you're going to see something that gives you the advice to get a mentor. How great is that? Yes, get a mentor. But like how? You're going to hear this from all biggies, Bloomberg, and all these magazines, all these amazing people. Get a mentor. It's absolutely valuable, essential part of becoming your own professional self, developing your identity and your own trajectory. But like, why is that the advice? Have you ever thought about why having a mentor might be the right advice for you? And with getting the advice to get a mentor, they tell you that all great leaders have mentors. All mentoring absolutely matters. Mentoring is, I love this quote from Sally Krawcheck. She said, I've been much more successful during those times when I've had the mentor relationship and when just flat out mentoring matters. All right, mentors give you advice, they help you with discernment, they give you, you can learn a ton of support and encouragement and accountability. Mentors do all of those things. So I think we can agree that mentors matter and they are important. Can you even imagine, I don't know if you can just take a second and think back through the past week. What would it be like if you had someone that you pick up the phone or ask them if what you were feeling was intuition or if it was fear? In other words, what should you do in a situation? Flat out care about you, care about where you are in this moment in your career, in your day-to-day, so that you can more finely tune in to your own, what's holding you back, and to work through that. How about having someone to ask, like, this is what happened. It kind of blew up and this is what I did. What should I say? How do you think that impacted how I'm perceived? Or pick up the phone and say, is this like, are my signals telling me that I should leave or quit? Or is it really dig in and see progress further down the road? How about, hey, I want to get there, but I'm here now. So what's move? If you had somebody like that you could trust to work through this with you, to care about where you are, what an asset. That would be amazing if you have someone who has seen others be there, who understands your industry, who understands your role, who understands what you're going through, who's deeply invested in you. Can you even imagine if that would make in your life? All right. So yes, let's hear from real women who have had real mentors. So this quote says, I had modest ambition in terms of my position and my earning. Each step of my career saw something in me that I didn't have the ability to see in myself. I don't know if you're feeling at all stuck or disconnected, if you're feeling unsure of what it is that you really want. Mentors have the ability to help pull that out in you, to give you some thoughts, some creative spark, some inspiration. Their belief that I can do circumstances was what typically drove me forward to my next position or challenge. So really just having a champion, a cheerleader. How about with career world, still tiptoe around the workplace as opposed to carving out a place for themselves? So it just hurts my heart. It's fear and lack of confidence were holding me back from achieving my full potential. Is that you? Do you feel like you're tiptoeing around? Do you feel like you up to your full possibility, to what your purpose might be? All right. So all of that, I think, underlines the importance of why mentors matter, can make in your life. But here we go. How to get the right mentor. All right. This is the hard way. So first up, you got to target them. I'm going to give you guys some really tactical. If you haven't already, just pull out a quick notebook, pull up and note-taking software and just follow along with me. So the first step for you is to target. You're going to do some research. We can talk about some different ways to connect with them, and then what it means when I say fate about targeting the right mentor. So you're going to do some real research, and I want you to be thoughtful, maybe set aside morning to kind of think through these questions and see over the course of the next week what themes are coming up as you answer and ask these questions of yourself. Like, think about what sort of career you ultimately would enjoy, what would be fun for you, what would be rewarding, what you would be proud of. And then take note, do you want to be like that person? This is the other tricky piece about sort of the old way of mentoring. You pick one mentor, and you may or may not agree with their lifestyle, but you may really admire their career. You may really admire the way that they handle themselves, but they're not in an industry or a role that you really want. All right. So take note that you want to be like, and in what ways. Then talk about who you admire. This doesn't have to be specifically within your career trajectory. It doesn't have to be somebody in this continent, right? You can talk about who you admire and why. It doesn't need to be a real person, not fictitious. You admire the people that you sort of hold on a pedestal in your mind. What about them is what really connects with you, what's encouraging to you. And then think about who are the change makers and thought leaders in your industry. If you do have an industry that you are really connected with, that you like a lot, that you want to see a future for yourself within, think about those thought leaders and take changes that they're making and the way that they're leading the thought movements within that industry. Are there any disruptors? How are they doing? How are they leading and impacting change? Some easy examples are if there's policy being changed, if there's technology being implemented, just think through all they're making an impact. Okay, so you got your research done. Bonus question here. All right, I did this myself. This is such a great reverse engineer your career trajectory, and then you can look for people throughout that trajectory. So just as an example, let's say a chief operating officer. That title has just always called to you. So pull up a LinkedIn or Ladders or whoever your search engine is. Pull up that role. Pull up chief operating officers. Okay, see what their requirements are. And then reverse engineer what it would take to get them. What type of roles would satisfy that requirement. And then look around and see in your research who you can identify as roles already. So you're identifying targets within the career trajectory that you ultimately want. Okay, next up. So targeting, in addition to doing your research, you can mentor matching programs. A lot of employers have this. If yours does, please do at least find out what that means, who you might be matched with, other people who have gone through it, what their take was. You can also check out professional society. So for project management, for example, the PADI, they have a ton of local chapters and a ton of events and presentations that happen all the time. And it's a really great forum just to learn more and connect with people, even virtually. And the tip that I have for you is you don't even have to have the certification or necessarily have a paid membership to start with, at least to explore that. So don't let them, just go and learn. They are there and they're always eager to have new people, new fresh blood in those events. So feel free to enter. You will be met with welcome arms and happy handshakes. All right, the next one for formal matching is alumni association. So if you are currently going to school, don't let that stop you either. Office and say, I hope to be an alum one day. Do you have alumni who are mentoring or offering mentoring or who would be willing to meet with me? If you have already graduated, this is something you already college tuition, so you might as well take advantage of it. Just give them a call and ask what sort of mentoring matching opportunities they might have for you. You've done your research. You're also exploring formal mentoring, formal matching opportunities. And then there's fate. And I love this because this is sort of for the more intuitive of who do you have a natural rapport with? Who are you already interacting with on a daily basis? Who may be already sharing advice with you, hiring you, or in any way guiding you? If you have someone that you just sort of naturally click with and you have learned a little bit about their background, we're hearing from them, they might be someone that you could consider a mentor or begin to form a mentor relationship with. And then I love this last one. Who do you already work for And these, for me, have been some of the most powerful influencers in my life, are the people that I've happened to work for and with are inspirational, and they are really easy to get to know because you're in there with them every day. So you get to have a really clear understanding of who they are and what they're all about. So fate, something to do with who your mentors might be. All right, if you guys have questions, just pop them up in the chat there. All right. This is a bonus piece of fate. It's to get. One of the mentors I sought out across through an employee matched mentor opportunity. Companies I worked with hosted a woman who was a speaker, and I reached out proactively. I just really liked what she was about. I liked her message, and I asked her if she would be willing to talk with me more. And it was absolutely a cold call, and I am sincerely an introvert, so it was a little hard for me to put myself out there. But advice, and she said that she would absolutely be willing to talk with me. She would love to work with someone, but she asked in return reciprocal mentorship, which a little bit more later. It really just means that your mentor, just because you see them as a mentor, doesn't mean that they see you as a mentee. They might see it also as a reciprocally a professional friendship, someone who is invested in your success and you are likewise invested in theirs. So don't be afraid to ask, could support them. And we'll get to that in a little more detail here in just a few minutes, but just put that in your hip pocket as you're approaching these folks. Be willing to give what you're asking to receive. Okay. Second step to finding the perfect mentor, your best target mentor, is to hustle. Hustle, hustle, hustle. It does take and beyond to get the sort of mentoring that you need that's most applicable and most helpful for where you want to be. So this is where mentors are, and do what your mentors do. This may seem obvious as I say it, but think about it even in terms of visibility. Whatever you increase your face time with these mentors is going to help you build a relationship. It's going to help you identify who you really want to be. Right? You want to start attending conferences if you have those opportunities. If you can volunteer for these organizations or even within the community, again, it doesn't have to be your company. It can be anywhere where you see value that you can give and value and you appreciate what they're good opportunity to explore volunteering. And then take stretch roles, not necessarily within just your career, but whatever you can do that may be just a little bit outside of your comfort zone. If it gives you the ability to have more face time, more visibility with the target mentors, I encourage you to think about doing that. And then in as much as you can, thoughtful questions. This can be somewhat intimidating, I know, but you have valuable perspective to add, and they want to hear from you. You can be recognized as someone who is thoughtful and also budding as a thought leader. The easier it will be for them to identify with you. They'll be intrinsically invested in helping you succeed. So be present, be visible, and get that face time. All right. Now, this is the second part. Sorry. Yeah. By offering what your mentors need. So we talked briefly about reciprocal mentoring. This is also related to that. So in as much as with your mentor, consider what would be valuable for them. If they need software training and you know that software, you can volunteer. You can help drive the conversation forward by sparking their own thoughts and making sure you're sharing your opinions and driving their thought, and continue to share your perspective. If you have an anecdote or an experience that speaks directly to something that they're working on, they want to hear that. That's valuable for them. And again, offer. One of my personal mottos is grow through giving. So think about what your mentors need and whatever you can share with them, do, because they'll value what you have to say and what you're able to share with them. Okay. All right, then the third step is to connect. And what this means with authenticity, connection doesn't have to feel forced. It should not feel slimy. It should not feel silly. Come from a point of honesty and sincerity. Muster some enthusiasm and a smile. Bring energy. share with them what it is about their work and themselves, their accomplishments that you really, and what people really resonate with. Well, let me back up. People love to hear about themselves. So if you can frame this in a way that you're talking about them, what they've done and they've made for you, that will stick with them. That will make an impact, and it will help you build that connection, that rapport, because they'll know that you respect them from. Tell your story. Make sure that they know who you are. And I almost didn't put this in here because I in no way want you to be long-winded when you always need to be considering the audience to whom you're sharing this information. But it is valuable. Where you're coming from is valuable, and it will help them build trust. And it's tricky, but do share who you are and why what they're doing matters to your life. They will want to hear that. Okay. So you have authentic rapport with them. Don't make this a formal ask. When I say mentorship, you do not have to form to be their mentee. That is probably actually really scary for some people, to be approached and be asked to be a mentor to someone, to form someone's future. Just build a relationship based on authenticity and sharing. You can leverage it the same way that you leverage a mentorship in any formalized setting. You just don't have to call it. It takes the pressure off of you. It absolutely takes the pressure off of them. So just build a rapport, have a conversation, a relationship, and a friendship with them based on mutual. Okay, the favorite one for me. You guys need to highlight this. If you are reaching out to mentors that are higher up than you, make sure that you are not approaching them with your hands out, like you're asking for something. In none of your communication do I want you to be asking for help. I don't want you to ask to be heard. I don't want you to, okay. Again, what you're doing is building a relationship with these mentors to be able to intrinsically be invested in your success. So when you come to them and you have a question, they absolutely want to answer you. They want to answer you, support you, and give you as much advice that would be helpful. So no one's out. Approach them as equal, share in as much as you can. All right. This next one is consistency. So you don't want to just be a blip on their radar either. Have a tendency to sort of want to be a fangirl when I meet really amazing people at conferences or other events. But then that's just radar. Relationships are built out of consistency. So set a cadence for how often you're going to follow up with them. Again, it doesn't have to be formal. You don't have to find time on their calendar. But if you can make a calendar to reach out to this person every couple of weeks, share an article that's relevant, share a note of encouragement, share a story, or just ask them how they're doing and if there's anything you can do to help them. If you're showing up consistently with them on the phone and conferences and email, and it goes a long way to building trust and real relationships. All right, plan your content. I mentioned this briefly, but do keep a running list of things that you want to share, things that might be interesting or relevant to them. If you do have a formal sit down with them or time with them on the phone or coffee, you're not just like, well, how's your day? How's the weather? Keep it on point, keep it on topic. That I do this best is by keeping a running list for every person. So also keep it professionally pleasant. They don't want to hear about your dog that passed away. So keep it pleasant and keep it professional. They also don't really want to get drunk with you on the weekend. Professional and pleasant. You are not on a job interview, but you never know when they might recommend you for a job interview. And so just always be mindful of your interpersonal PR, what you're putting out, and how it will be perceived. Okay. So that's getting a mentor the old-fashioned way. And I got to tell you, a lot of trial and error on my own part, a lot of painting calls, a lot of painful, scary first handshakes and asks and stumbling over my words and trying to get it all out right, but doable. Getting a mentor this old-fashioned way is absolutely, totally doable. I have done it, and those relationships have changed my life for the better. Love and appreciate the advice I got, and they were able to give me really tough to hear direction at some really critical points in my life. And if I didn't have those built on authenticity that were really truly connected, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I love where I am today. So It's totally doable, but it doesn't always work for everybody. So I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about the Crew Collective, and I want to share with you about how we're sort of reimagining mentorship looks like in the future. So the old-fashioned way, when it doesn't work, it really doesn't work. So these are some quotes for some folks that had negative experiences. They said, I sought mentorship for industry leaders. The oldest believed in the power of friendship, and in an industry that is notorious for getting jobs with who you know, I realized I needed to enlarge my circle. So this person had to move into out of that hunger. All right, next up, when you feel alone in a work setting, there's a natural tendency to become defensive. How true is that, right? When you feel isolated, you feel really... so I had to learn to fight against that and open up trust for others to guide and mentor me. It's something we have to figure out for ourselves, but you have to know who you can trust. Getting a mentor triggers any of these things for you, I really would love to know about it. Tell me if it's feeling nerve-wracking, if this is feeling overwhelming, intimidating, awkward, forced, fake, terrible, asking for a mentor, or insincere. Those aren't good feelings, and they're not the best way to form a relationship. So let's consider cooperative mentoring. This is what cooperative mentoring is intended to cover the bases of a group of, well, for the crew, a group of women who are there to truly invested in the positive future of each other, give and grow. Rising tide lifts all boats, iron sharpens iron. All of these attitudes are just at the heart of what the collective is all about. So meet the Crew Collective. This is us. This is a positive organization of inspiring women who have been where you want to be, who want to see you succeed, who want to hear from you and receive from you, learn from this. We're your mentors and your champions. And it's not a strict, forced mentorship relationship. It is not intimidating. Completely come and share, come and ask, come and receive. The crew is here to help you. Consider it like a board of directors for life. One of my clients just called it that, and I loved that because really impressive women with high expectations, but they have high expectations because they know it's possible. And even if you don't see it in yourself right now, they can help you get clarity and they can help you achieve what you want to achieve next. Okay, so the old model of mentors doesn't always work for the modern. You know, Oprah, I do. I'm an Oprah fan. But I love this quote. She says, a mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside of yourself. When you can't see it, even when you don't feel it, a mentor can see that for you. Forbes also had this in one of their latest articles. It said, trying to do things is difficult. Alone is more often than not impossible. That's why all great leaders have mentors, because success in reality is a team sport. Also, perspectives and advice from just one person. If you have one go-to person, then your scope and your possibility and your potential that you're going to be narrow based on that one person's perspective. So it's such a more rich, vibrant, and inspiring perspective to have a collective of men rather than just one perspective. It's safer and it's really energizing. Okay, so I know this about you. You're here today, have a purpose, and you know that you have untapped potential, but you're not sure what steps to take next, how to make it happen. I feel you. You want more, and you want to make smart, strategic moves to advance your career trajectory the right way, because really wasting time and energy is just, it's pointless. Such little time, and we have such little energy. The older I get, the more that's true for me. Don't spend it making career mistakes. Don't spend it spinning your wheel to do. Spend it taking action. Spend it thoughtfully in the right places, on the right people, in the right ways. And mentors, the collective, can absolutely do that for you. It's your time. It's your time to experience a really reciprocal, collaborative group of supporting women, encourage you, to hold you accountable, to share their advice, their lessons learned, their tips, their tactics, their strategies, to hear exactly where you are and experiences to your future so that you don't have to waste time. These are women who are like-minded and positive focused. This is not just a gripe fest. The collective hears you where you are and your pain points, and then they want to solve them and help you move forward out of there. So stop spinning your wheels. It's time to stop feeling stuck. It is absolutely time. If your career is stagnating, to feel like you are wasting your talent and your time and your creativity, please stop spending your days being underpaid, being unappreciated, overworked, burnout. Life is way too short. And just because you're corporate doesn't mean that you're not entitled to fulfillment and joy and peace and happiness and creative inspiration. Okay. It is into your dream career path with the guidance and champion mentors every step of the way. And that's exactly what the collective is here to do. So the Real Crew Collective, let's talk a little bit about what it is. It is mentoring and resources and mastermind and a community. It's all here for you. So your career success plan, if you join up on the collective, we're going to get you absolute clarity about what your next steps are. We're going to make sure that understanding of what your mission is, what your drivers are, and then who are your dream stakeholders. So how do you play to that audience, no matter where you are, okay? No matter, right now, being there is part of your purpose. And it is a step to getting you where you want to be. So this career success plan is out of the gate, what we're going to accomplish together. Next up, we help you get the skills. If there's anything specifically that you need help with, we have masterminds scheduled on skills like negotiation, on confidence boosting, on public presentations, any of the tactical, technical stuff that you know just in time. If you are up at 3 in the morning worried about a presentation, our community is there to support you. Our community is there to listen to you have a really intimidating presentation or client pitch coming up. That's what we're here to do, to support you, to give you feedback, to give you a safe place to vet your ideas, brainstorm together, and then we're going to help you implement what you learn. We're going to hold you accountable. When you sign up for the collective, it's part of a team. It is a team sport. We're here to answer your questions, to hear your questions, to hear your answers to our questions. You're contributing and cooperative forum. So you are no longer alone, is what that means. Also, personalized help, again, 24/7 support on tap. That's the benefit of having an online community. Recommendations or strategy or a safe place to share a fear. We are all here to help you. Okay, so here's what you get access to. You get instant access to all of the training as they come out. You get first come and built just for you if you have specific needs. We have weekly live meetings and if you haven't ever participated in a hot seat, you're going to love what we do. You'll sign up, and if it's your hot seat, you share with us where you are, what your context and the story there, and then we will help solve whatever challenges you're up against or give you advice on whatever you need. You get the undivided attention of the collective and a ton of Q&A opportunity. So you can submit questions online or you can ask them live in our weekly meetings. And then because I know you guys are busy, all right, and who has to say it's certainly not me. I'm so proud of this. It's called the Executive Highlight Digest. So every month, even though you're not able necessarily to be present for all, I've hired someone specifically to curate all of that content, to pull it out into a really beautiful PDF summary of exactly what the take-homes is with links directly to those conversations. So if you want to dive in more, you can go straight there. Also, late-breaking research. Again, my background is psychology, so I'll be sharing with you guys some of the tips and tricks about the ology and how you can use that in your corporate job. Some really cool stuff. Talk about motivation, talk about confidence, talk about negotiation, and how to plug into the mind of your audience. And then there is the private community. The crew has a public Facebook group. This is not that. This is even more exclusive, even more private. You will have access as one of our tasks within that really sacred space. Okay, so again, live weekly strategy sessions, hot seats and Q&A recorded. Again, I know you guys are busy women. Okay, so you may not be able to dial in live, and that's completely okay and understandable. So we record so you can take that however makes the most sense for you. If you are a podcast listener and you want to listen on your commute, you can listen back. If you're able to, it will be there for you also. Okay, and your new mentors, the women that make up the collective are so inspired and so inspiring. This is really just the creme de la creme of Profund. Inside a private Facebook group, you get access to me and to our guest experts, to your mentors, to the collective members. We are a tight-knit and we are here right by your side. All right, and then the 30,000 foot view. This is the executive highlight digest. So again, discussion and recaps, all sorts of, we'll be gathering wins from each other and celebrating each other's success, as well as sharing failures. I really do believe in sharing as well as the good so that we can all learn from it and encourage each other through it. So the executive highlight digest does just that. And then just in time. So again, you get a resource library. We've got your back on tech trainings. We've got PowerPoint tutorials. We've got QuickBook experts, whatever you need. You skills briefs, research supported, late breaking applications for different tactics and business tools, and real life validated best practices. This is you could flip through in the dentist office. This is real life, real women doing real things in the corporate world for the greater good, and they want to share that with you through the collective. Section bonus, the Real Crew Collective is open just until the beginning of July 2018 this time. And if you are willing to act now, that is before the 20th, you get a one-on-one career trajectory evaluation with me. So we're going to dive deep into exactly where you are and exactly where you want to be. Our long call, you'll get a summary of an action plan and recommendations, and then you and I will continue to stay in touch against this trajectory action plan through the next 6 months. So just consider it sort of a more personal deep dive into exactly what it is that you are hoping you get out of your career and your next steps. Join us now. There's a great big button down below. It says Join the Real Crew. Use this button to enroll. You're probably asking, what is the investment dollars a month? For the next week through June 23rd, there's a $10 discount off of that, a coupon. If you use the code JUNE20 before June 23rd, you get $10 off, and that's every month. You'll only pay $45 a month. So again, that big button down below that says Join the Real Crew Collective, that is your signal. That is where I want to see you. So the final step, once you click that button, you're going to create your account. There's a couple simple questions. I want to make sure I know how to get in touch with you and information about next up events. You're going to create a password. Then you'll go through the secure checkout, and you'll immediately be able to log in the members area. And you'll also be able to request access to that private members only Facebook group. I'll be turning around those permissions through up. Hopefully I'll be able to get that back to you within 12 hours, if not sooner. Okay, so final step, enroll to $5 a month. So if you use that June 2018 coupon code before the 23rd, you'll be able to lock in that $45 price forever. After June 23rd, it'll go back up twice. So I know you might have some questions, and I want to hear from you. If you have questions, please ping them into the chat. I'm not sure what I want to do with my career. Does this mean that the crew is not for you? No, this is exactly because not knowing is a point of freedom. It's also really intimidating for many of us. I know that I've been there, completely unsure if I'm making the right, if I am being a good steward of my opportunities. This is the right place for you. Come share with us what it is that lights you up. Let's talk it through. Let's think about what you really want, what your next options are. All right, what if I'm just wherever in your career? It does not matter. The crew is for you. I have a friend that's looking forward to retiring next year, and she cannot wait to be a part of this mentorship cooperative. She has so much to share and so much to ask. Retire doesn't mean your career is done. Of course, she's going to garden and do her hobbies more, but she still is going to be engaged as a professional woman. So if you are just starting out and have no idea what you're, or if you're mid-career and you really want to make sure you optimize your opportunities, if you're getting ready to retire, it does not matter. You are welcome. We need you. We value Crew is for you. All right. What if, like, I don't have a role, I don't have a status, I don't consider myself a professional? Absolutely. If you are a woman who wants to be a professional professional in the corporate space, then the crew is for you. If you consider yourself a professional and you're not in the corporate space, we are here to help you succeed as a woman, a professional woman. That is exactly what the collective is here to do in your success and support you in achieving your dreams and goals. All right, so join us now if you're interested. Enroll today for $40, and that price goes up on June 23rd. You cannot apply the coupon after the 23rd. So lock in that $45 a month price. Get your fast action bonus if you sign up before the 21 career trajectory evaluation with me. And you get access to all of these amazing components of the Real Crew. You get the mentoring, you get the resources, you get the mastermind, and you get the community. And I'm there. If you have questions, please feel free to ping them into the chat, reply, or send an email to hello@therealcrew.com on the Facebook group, the collective of real executive women. Guys, I am so humbled. I am grateful and appreciative for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here with me. Can't wait to see you in the crew. Take care, guys.